I'm going to say a number, and I want you to listen closely. $40. Yes, that's it. That's the state filing fee to start an LLC in Kentucky. Not $400. Not $200 plus processing. $40. And somehow, Kentucky still flies completely under the radar. So in this video, I want to walk you through how to start an LLC in Kentucky, how the process actually works, what the real costs are, upfront and ongoing, and why Kentucky is one of the most budget-friendly states in the U.S. to keep an LLC alive year after year. And stick around because the annual requirement here is almost laughably simple compared to most states. If you're new here, I'm Bobby Casey, founder of Business Anywhere. I've helped thousands of entrepreneurs, including remote founders and international business owners, set up U.S. companies the right way. Kentucky doesn't get talked about enough, so let's fix that. All right, let's dig in. So first, why Kentucky? Kentucky is one of those states that doesn't try to impress you. It just quietly does the job. The filing fees are some of the lowest in the country. The process is straightforward, and the ongoing maintenance costs are minimal. If you're running a service business, an online company, consulting work, or anything that doesn't need a flashy startup state, Kentucky can make a lot of sense, especially if you care about keeping costs down long term. Now, before anything gets filed, you'll need to choose a business name. In Kentucky, your LLC name has to be unique in the state and include LLC, LLC, or limited liability company. You'll run a name search through the Kentucky Secretary of State's business database to make sure it's available. This step is quick, but skipping it can delay your filing. And real quick, this is also a good moment to think ahead: domain names, branding, and future expansion. Changing a name later is way more annoying than taking 5 extra minutes now. Next up is your registered agent. Every Kentucky LLC must have a registered agent with a physical street address in the state. This person or company receives legal documents and official state notices for your business. If you live in Kentucky, you can be your own registered agent. Just know that your address becomes public record, and you're expected to be available during business hours. That's why many founders, especially remote or out-of-state ones, use a professional registered agent service to keep things private and simple. All right, now let's make it official. To form your Kentucky LLC, you'll file articles of organization with the Kentucky Secretary of State. The filing is done online, the form is refreshingly short, and the state filing fee is just $40. Once you submit everything, the state reviews it, and approvals are usually pretty fast. When it's approved, your Kentucky LLC officially exists. No extra hoops, no surprise charges. Now let's talk about something Kentucky doesn't require, but you still want: an operating agreement. Kentucky doesn't legally require one, but this document lays out how your LLC works: ownership, decisions, profit splits. What happens if someone leaves? Even if you're a single-member LLC, having this in place helps prove that your business is a real separate entity. Banks and payment processors often expect it, even if the state doesn't. Next, you'll want to get your EIN, or employer identification number. This is your LLC's federal tax ID. You'll need it to open a U.S. business bank account, get paid by clients, hire employees, and file federal taxes. Good news here: it's completely free, and you can get it directly from the IRS online in just a few minutes. Now let's talk taxes and licenses, because this part depends on what your business actually does. If your LLC sells products, has employees, or collects sales tax, you'll need to register with the Kentucky Department of Revenue. Kentucky doesn't have a general statewide business license, which keeps things simple. But some industries and local governments may still require permits, so it's always smart to check based on your situation. Here's where Kentucky really shines: ongoing compliance. Kentucky requires an annual report, but the fee is just $15. $15. You file it each year to confirm your information with the state, and that's pretty much it. As long as you file on time and keep your registered agent active, your LLC stays in good standing. Compared to states charging hundreds every year, this is a big win. So if we zoom out and simplify everything, here's what starting and running a Kentucky LLC looks like. You choose a name, you appoint a registered agent, you file online for $40, you create an operating agreement, you get your EIN, you register for taxes if needed, and you file a $15 annual report each year. That's it. Low cost, low stress, very manageable. One last thing before we wrap up. Even in an easy state like Kentucky, mistakes still happen, usually around registered agents, missed reports, or banking setup. That's why at Business Anywhere, we'll form your Kentucky LLC for free. You only pay the $40 state filing fee. We also include your first year of registered agent service at no extra cost and help keep you compliant going forward. If you want to keep things simple and avoid headaches, check out the link in the description. All right, now I want to hear from you. Are you considering Kentucky specifically, or are you comparing a few low-cost states right now? Drop a comment and let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.